after learning that your deceased father is in the underworld, eating only plain steamed buns and pickled vegetables every day. You start burning billions in spirit money for him daily. You thought your filial devotion would bless you with great wealth. But unexpectedly, he got so angry he jumped out of his coffin, slapped you across the face twice, and warned you not to burn any more ghost money for him. All because in these past years, people have been burning way too much money to the underworld. Mountains of spirit currency caused major inflation in the netherworld. This even triggered the Third World War in the underworld. What he craves most now isn't money anymore, but hardcore weapons, whether it's planes or cannons. As long as the firepower is strong enough, he wants them all. That way he and his brothers can carve out their own turf in the afterlife and reign over their territory. Upon hearing about the war down below, you hurriedly ask your dad if he can secure you a government job in the underworld.
If possible.
You're willing to go down and join him right now. After all, you're flat broke these days. Your dad, without hesitation, gave you another big slap. He tells you as long as you can send him enough advanced weapons, he can have his friends in the underworld send you mountains of gold and silver in return. He solemnly instructs you to check under the old scholar tree at home tomorrow. There will definitely be 2 gold pieces. The moment you hear this, you get super pumped up and start crafting guns and cannons all night at your shop. Since your family has been in this trade for 6 generations, you're really good at making paper offerings. But not all paper offerings can actually be delivered to the underworld to send weapons down there. You must stamp them with the spirit artisan's psychic seal. With that seal, the offerings are exempt from a 50% netherworld toll fee. So your family receives the full amount. But even though your official seal has been passed down for 7 generations, its level is only 2. So you can only start by burning some low-level weapons like machine guns. After more than half an hour, a paper-heavy machine gun is ready. You stamp it with your psychic seal and toss it into the fire without hesitation.
Next.
You quickly make 3 more heavy machine guns and a few handguns and burn them as well. But guns alone aren't enough, so you add some cold weapons to the mix. While tossing on more fuel, you mutter to yourself. Then end up making a long Yuchang sword, stamp it, and burn it too. As midnight approaches, you strictly follow the instructions, placing the stamped, incense-wrapped iron box under the big tree in your courtyard. Lock up your house tightly and spend the whole night anxious and excited. The next morning, you don't even bother eating breakfast and dash to the tree as fast as you can with your dark circles. You dig out the iron box right away, open it up, and see 2 bright, gleaming gold bars lying inside. Your hands tremble with excitement. You grab one and shove it straight into your mouth. Take a hearty bite and laugh out loud. Pure gold, I'm rich. But what you don't know is, there's even greater fortune coming your way. Last night, many families received dreams from their grandfathers. By tacit agreement, they all sent their descendants to your bajishi shop to buy machine guns. For a while, everyone who'd received these dreams was utterly confused, not having a clue who you even are. At this moment, you're strolling back to your shop, grinning and carrying your gold bars. But as soon as you walk in, you catch a glimpse out of the corner of your eye of a sharp-looking, tall young woman stepping through the door. She glances around at all the funeral wreaths in your shop and finally locks eyes with you. Her voice is sweet but also strangely urgent. Excuse me, is Boss Mu here? My name is Bai Ningbing. I'm here to buy a heavy machine gun.
Hearing this,
your eyelid twitches violently, and you throw up your hands in disbelief. Miss Bai, you must be mistaken. This is Bai Ishi shop. We don't deal in weapons. Bai Ningbing shook her head, looking completely confident. I didn't get the address wrong. My brother has been gone for 2 years. Last night he visited me in a dream and told me to come to this funeral shop in the suburbs and find Mujay to buy a heavy machine gun and a sword. This is the only shop in the suburbs, besides the funeral parlor. When you hear this, you can't help but think to yourself, as expected, this must be business your dad drummed up in the underworld. You clear your throat and laugh. All right, we're out of stock right now. Just give me a few dozen minutes. I'll make them right away. Half an hour later, you bring the finished paper gun and paper sword and take Bai Ningbing to the backyard. With her birth details written on the paper offerings, you light them in the brazier, letting them burn completely. A thick smell of paper ash fills the air. Bai Ningbing's eyes suddenly turn red, her voice trembling with desperate hope. Boss Mu, do you really know spirit calling magic? I want to see my brother. Even just to talk. I'm happy to pay whatever it takes. I just want to know how he's doing down there, and let him know that I'm okay. Seeing this, you scratch your head and explain with helplessness. Miss Bai, I just know a little bit. I can't actually make you meet him. Mainly, your brother doesn't have the level to talk with you right now. He needs to level up by fighting monsters in the underworld to get the right permissions. Write him a letter and I'll get it to him. He'll reply to you in your dreams. Bai Ningbing instantly understood, her eyes suddenly burning with hope. She excitedly suggests, got it. Make some more powerful weapons and burn them for him, so he can level up. Can you make an atomic bomb? Money's not an issue. You twitch your mouth slightly and give a wry smile, waving your hand, interrupting this rich girl's fantasy. It's not whatever you want to burn, you can burn. I don't have enough permissions right now. I can't make that kind of big stuff. Sensing deep disappointment in her eyes, your tone softens a bit. You gently reassure her to stay positive. At least you can still connect in your dreams. Once I level up my permissions, I'll definitely help you. Let's add each other on WeChat for now. I'll message you if anything comes up. Only then does Bai Ningbing break into a smile through her tears, quickly whipping out her phone to scan your QR code. A moment later, after she finishes her letter to the underworld and hands it over, you take the letter and size up the rich girl before you. Unable to resist probing a little, Miss Bai, you look like someone with a story. Are you comfortable sharing it? Bai Ningbing's eyes redden, and she chokes out her own tragic past. Turns out she was abandoned by her birth parents. Adoptive parents died in accidents one after another, and her older brother died tragically protecting her from local thugs who tried to kidnap her. Only then did her wealthy birth parents show up and bring their devastated daughter home. After hearing this, you feel a wave of sympathy and hand her a few tissues, comforting her softly. Then you step away. Seal the envelope with the psychic stamp and toss it into the brazier to burn. Watching the paper ashes burn to nothing, Bai Ningbing wiped away her tears. She took a deep breath and looked at you. Boss Mu, how much is the total fee? You silently considered the rarity of spirit communication services. Tentatively, you said, how about 8,000? As soon as you finished speaking, Bai Ningbing pulled out her phone without hesitation to scan the payment code. Then, sincerity in her voice, she said while looking at you, the money has been transferred. Thank you so much for your hard work today.
If I get more access later on,
Be sure to let me know. Hearing the arrival notification on your phone, you nodded in satisfaction and agreed. You then watched Bai Ningbing leave. Just at that moment, the door opened, and in walked an energetic old man in a traditional Chinese jacket. The elderly man looked around the shop. His gaze gentle, he asked, young man. Hello, I wanted to ask, is there someone named Mujay in your shop? My deceased relative came to me in a dream last night and told me to come here to buy a heavy machine gun to burn for him. Upon hearing this, understanding dawned on you. Dad really is amazing at getting customers. You quickly helped the elderly man sit to the side. With a smile, you explained, I am Mujay, but I'm out of stock right now. Would you mind waiting a few dozen minutes? The elderly man nodded kindly. No problem. Thank you for your trouble. But just as you turned around to get started, the shop door was flung open again and again by 7 or 8 people. Men and women, young and old, swarming in. Everyone rushed eagerly to the counter. People started shouting all at once. I want a heavy machine gun. I want the Heaven Reliant sword. Amid all the noise filling your ears, you couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. You quickly raised your hand, raising your voice, to regain control of the room. Everyone, please don't rush. I don't have anything in stock. Please all take a seat. Go over there to register. Write your relative's name and birthday.
elders first.
Everyone else by registration order. Any questions? Everyone nodded in agreement. No problem. Seeing your customers so cooperative, you finally breathed a sigh of relief. But then, from the back of the crowd, A young man in designer brands squeezed his way forward. He pulled out his phone and slammed it twice on the counter. Arrogantly, he shouted, "I'll pay double. Make mine first." "I'm in a hurry." Witnessing this scene, your brows furrowed, your tone turned blunt and unfriendly. The minority obeys the majority. No one else has a problem. Only you do. Objection overruled. The young man immediately grew agitated, pointing at the designer clothes he wore. He puffed up and yelled loudly, "Aren't you just running a spirit offering shop? Do you know who I am? I'm the heir to Yuchang Group. Even if I pay triple, quadruple today, you still have to make mine first." Seeing how arrogant he was, a few customers who'd been waiting in line got nervous about trouble and quietly urged you to serve him first. You put down your work and gave him a cold, sweeping look. You pointed at the door. "In my place, you follow my rules. Buy or don't, your choice. The door's right there. I'm not seeing you out." The young man flew into a rage. He was about to burst out in a tirade. But the unassuming old man you'd served first walked over. The old man sized up the young man from head to toe. His previously kind presence suddenly turned intimidating. In a deep voice, he scolded, "You say you're the heir of Yuchang Group? So that makes you Zhao Yishan's grandson, right? Your grandfather had a sterling reputation, and now he's got such an arrogant descendant. Apologize to the boss right now, and get to the back of the line." At the mention of that name, the young man's arrogance froze on his face. His pupils shrank in shock. He stammered and lowered his head. "How come you're here, sir?" He then hurriedly bowed to you, apologizing again and again. "Boss, it's all my fault for making you upset. I'll wait my turn, I promise." Watching this unfold, you couldn't help but be alarmed inside. You couldn't help but think this old man must have quite a background. Even so, you still had no intention of backing down. The finger you pointed at the door never budged. An apology isn't enough. I'll say it again. Please leave my shop. At your words, a flash of malice crossed the young man's face. But with the old man there, he didn't dare act out. He could only slink away dejectedly. Once the commotion calmed down, you sat back down and began making all the rest of the weapons one by one. Only when everything was completed and stamped with the clear spiritual seal did you lead the crowd to the backyard. You lit the fire pit and dropped the paper offerings in one by one. The old man watched the flames leap and dance. He cheerfully took out some cash. "Thank you for your hard work, young boss. How much do I owe you?" You patted the ash off your hands and gently explained, "My rule is to charge according to customers' financial situation. Full price for those well off, half price for those who aren't. Those who farm pay just a few dozen." Upon hearing that rule, all the less well-off customers were extremely grateful. They thanked you repeatedly. A look of appreciation flashed in the old man's eyes. He handed you a simple business card. On it were only the words Su Leo and a phone number. His tone incredibly serious. "You're a good young man. If you ever get into trouble, just give me a call." You accepted the card with both hands and thanked him with a smile. Just as the flames in the backyard faded away, news of it had already set off a stir in the Netherworld supply office. 2 Underworld clerks in charge of distributing items stared in shock at the mountain-like heap of heavy weapons before them, their eyes wide in disbelief. They couldn't help but exclaim repeatedly, "My God, who sent all of this? That's some serious firepower." Their supervisor took a closer look, carefully checking the printed names and birthdays.
He immediately waved to his team.
"It's all for Yuchang. Hurry up and pack it, send it over." At the same time, inside Yuchang's city lord's mansion, Mu Baikuan ran his hands over crates of brand new heavy machine guns and swords, his grin nearly splitting his face. The joy on his face was beyond words. "That's my wonderful son. With this kind of firepower at my disposal, next time there's a Netherworld war, I'll be able to really go wild." The clerk who had just earned a generous running fee smiled and congratulated him. "City Lord Mu, your son is truly filial. With this batch of divine weapons, your legendary feats are just around the corner." Mu Baikuan laughed heartily, eyes burning with battle lust. He simply couldn't wait to try out the power of these weapons. Looking at the mountain of armaments, His attendant standing nearby was dazzled. So excited he just kept rubbing his hands. Young master is incredible. With this batch of weapons, we'll finally have the upper hand against the evil spirits. He clearly remembers. Last night, a few stray evil spirits came to test the Lord. He just mowed them down with that heavy machine gun. Wiped out the entire enemy in one go. Mu Baikuen slapped his thigh resolutely. A fierce fighting spirit ignited in his eyes. Gather everyone. Tonight, the evil spirits will definitely attack in full force. This is our chance for a big win. Mu Baikuen stood with his hands behind his back, pointing at the crates by his feet. Heavy weapons glowing with a spectral light. He raised his voice. See all these great weapons? All brought here by my son. As long as you all fight well tonight. If we win this battle, I'll make sure each of you gets your own machine gun. Once I get promoted and earn the right to return to the living world, I'll bring you guys back to see your families. Hearing the words return to the living world, the soldiers who had felt hopeless before suddenly had tears in their eyes. They raised their new guns and swords all together. Their roars echoed to the heavens. Victory! Victory! The night was dark and deep. A bone-chilling wind carried intense resentment, blowing straight at them. Outside the city walls, an endless army of evil spirits surged forth like a tidal wave, feeling the suffocating sense of impending doom. A new recruit nervously swallowed. His fingertips trembled slightly. Sir, that's way too many of them. Mu Baikuen gripped his Heaven's Edge sword tightly, gaze locked on the enemies below the wall. He spoke in a deep voice. As long as there's resentment in the human world, evil spirits will be endless. But as long as we take them down, gain fame, and get stronger, we can protect our families back home. Give it everything you've got. Just as he finished speaking, an ice-cold, piercing voice echoed from the ranks of the evil spirits. The leader, Iron Armor, was clad in a suit of rusty, battered armor. He sneered with utter disdain. Mu Baikuen, where's all this confidence coming from? Last night's skirmish was just an appetizer. You really think a few scraps of tin are enough to turn the tables? Once your underworld weapons run out of spirit power, Moon City will be mine sooner or later. I'll devour and merge all of you. As soon as I absorb all the souls in this city, I can evolve into gold armor, and maybe even return to the living world. Saying this, Iron Armor's twisted grin grew even more arrogant, faced with this provocation. Mu Baikuen couldn't be bothered to argue. He directly kicked open a wooden crate in front of him, grabbed a heavy machine gun with both hands and set it on the battlement, and shouted angrily, "Enough talk. Brothers, let him have it." With his command, on the city wall, rows of heavy machine guns spat blazing tongues of fire all at once. A dense web of spirit-powered bullets formed a death net, instantly ripping through the vanguard of the evil spirits. Seeing such overwhelming firepower, Iron Armor's sneer froze on his face. His pupils shrank sharply. Enraged, he howled, "Mu Baikuen, you're cheating. Breaking underworld rules will get you punished." Mu Baikuen's fingers stayed firmly on the trigger. The gun barrel radiated blistering heat. His face was flushed with excitement. "Bullshit, I've got a spirit link seal. Why can't my son send me some firepower? If that's cheating, then die." The more the Moon City troops fought, the braver they grew. All that pent-up frustration was finally unleashed. Howling, they poured out endless bullets. But there were simply too many evil spirits. For every wave they took down, another from the rear filled the gap. Watching their firepower reserves start to run low, Mu Baikuen wiped the soot from his face, quickly retreated behind cover, and yelled to his men, "Hold the line. I'm contacting my son. Tell him to send us even heavier weapons." Meanwhile, you're sitting there thrilled, calculating. Nearly $100,000 earned today. A wide grin took over your face. Just then, your dad's familiar shout came through.
Hearing him call.
You perk up instantly, your eyes lighting up as you rush over. "Hey, Dad, aren't those weapons awesome? You must have racked up a ton of fame and fortune taking out those evil spirits, right? What do you say get me a gold mine or a diamond mine or something? I want to buy a luxury car, maybe a yacht." But as you connect, Mu Baikuen's frustrated voice came through loudly. "By your head. Stop dreaming and get to work." You think a little scrap metal will make you rich? Keep sending me supplies. Besides heavy machine guns, send even more powerful stuff. You pouted. Come on, Dad. All you gave me was 2 gold bars. You better send more tonight. Don't worry. I'll get you plenty of weapons. If not, I'll just build more tomorrow. Mubaikuen didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and yelled at you. You're obsessed with money. I'm in the middle of a battle. Focus! If we win tonight and level up, our clan's clear wing will reach level 3. With better permissions. Then you'll really be able to make a fortune, understand? Your eyes lit up, instantly energized. But then you hesitated, narrowing your eyes suspiciously. Is that for real? Dad, you're not just selling me on a dream, are you? Mubaikuen's voice nearly burst your eardrums. You ungrateful brat, you don't even trust your old man. If we lose tonight, you can forget about getting rich ever again. You chuckled, rubbing your hands together, and hurriedly agreed. I'm on it. All right, Dad. If we get to level 3, can you send me a mortar? What about a mech suit? Mubaikuen rolled his eyes dramatically over there. His tone became heavy. I'm not sure about the specifics. You figure it out yourself. Anyway, let's use heavy firepower tonight to deal with it first. There's no way I'm losing this fight. Cut the connection, stay behind. Get started right away. All for efficiency. You picked the simple structured grenades for convenience. In less than 5 minutes, dozens of paper grenades were stacked into the box. Seal it with the transparent mark. After setting it on fire and melting it, you buried yourself into making more. Meanwhile, on the wall of Netherworld U City, machine gun barrels kept bursting. The Netherworld's firearms have unlimited bullets, but their spiritual power can run out. After a prolonged battle, the firepower web was on the verge of collapse. Looking at the totally destroyed weapons, some soldiers stomped anxiously and shouted, "We're screwed!" The heavy machine gun is destroyed. There's no way to wipe out all these evil spirits. The person next to him gritted his teeth and held on, shouting loudly to boost morale. Don't panic. The Lord has already ordered the young master to make new weapons. The young master is reliable for sure. Below the wall, Iron Armor noticed U City's firepower was reduced sharply. He instantly perked up, brandishing his weapon and laughing wildly. U City firepower dropped. Everyone, charge! Mubaikuen, I told you I could wear you all down. Mubaikuen glared coldly at the crazed evil army flooding in. He snorted disdainfully. Don't get cocky yet. Just as he finished speaking, several Yin soldiers appeared out of nowhere and slammed a big box of grenades at Mubaikuen's feet. As soon as they saw what was inside the box, U City's soldiers erupted in earth-shaking cheers. Awesome, grenades. These are even more exciting than shooting. Young master is so powerful. Mubaikuen's heart soared with joy. He yanked open the box, grabbed a few grenades and handed them out, roared loudly at the top of his lungs. Brothers, blow them up for me, hard. Let's see how smug Iron Armor is now. With that, he was the first to pull the pin, and hurled it forcefully into the horde of evil spirits. With a deafening boom, a huge swath of evil spirits in front of Iron Armor were instantly obliterated. Smoke dissipated. The violent blast wave made Iron Armor's ears buzz. Covered in dirt, he stumbled backward, furiously cursing out loud. How does U City still have new weapons? Before he could catch his breath, a rain of grenades rained down from the wall like dumplings. The dense explosions blended together. Iron Armor was bombed into fleeing with his head down. Seeing massive casualties among his troops, he could only grit his teeth and roar. Retreat! Everyone, fall back! Mubaikuen wasn't about to let this chance go. He grabbed the last usable machine gun and unleashed a barrage at Iron Armor. You want to run when you start losing? I'm not done having fun yet. Iron Armor dodged in embarrassment, fuming with rage. Mubaikuen, you're ruthless. Come out and fight me one-on-one if you've got guts. Baikuen looked at him like an idiot and rolled his eyes, spat on the ground. You think I'm stupid? Why would I ignore the suppressing fire and go die fighting you, the leader? Just as he was cursing, the Yin soldiers delivered another box of weapons. Mubaikuen greeted his men without hesitation. and resumed the wild bombardment. A hailstorm of grenades utterly shattered iron armor's defenses. Even he was wounded by shrapnel. In total despair, he bit open his finger, pulled out an emergency flare from his coat, and hurled it into the sky. The green glow of the flare cut through the night and formed a giant armor totem in the skies. At the same moment, outside other cities of the Netherworld, various evil spirit leaders who couldn't breach the city for a long time all looked up toward U City together, stunned expressions on their faces. That's Iron Armor's emergency signal. He couldn't even take a tiny city like U City. Such a loser. Alright, you guys, let's head to U City and help out. Noticing the evil armies receding like a tide, the hard-pressed city defenders all let out a long sigh of relief. Several city lords exchanged glances. Looking at the flare in the sky, their eyes were full of shock. U City is incredible. They actually forced Iron Armor to send an emergency signal. Let's bring our troops to support them. Seeing this situation, Mubekuen was not panicked at all. Instead, a look of excitement flashed in his eyes. As long as the son who runs the weapon depot from the living world stays, no matter how many evil spirits come, he can rake in as much fame and fortune as he wants. Just then, outside the city, fierce whines picked up. All the evil spirit leaders marched in with imposing force. Several leaders looked at Iron Armor, who was in tattered clothes, full of disdain. Iron Armor couldn't even take a tiny U City. You're such a loser. Iron Armor gritted his teeth with rage, pointing at the wall, cursing loudly. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Open your damned eyes and see what kind of weapons U City is using. All the leaders looked over. Their pupils instantly contracted. Meanwhile, several other city lords arrived swiftly with their troops. They were just about to warn Baikuen, don't take on the evil spirits head-on. Suddenly, a pitch-black teleportation portal tore open in mid-air. Everyone stared dumbfounded as Chenshang's heavy machine guns, rocket launchers, and grenades came pouring out like a waterfall. Having high-level access with the transparent mark, the Yin soldiers could directly use the portal to deliver supplies. Mubekuen patted the ammo box, grinned at the arriving city lords. Now that everyone is here, just watch from the sidelines. Watch how I turn these evil spirits into dust tonight. As soon as he finished, he started handing out weapons, shouted loudly to his brothers. Grab your gear tonight. We'll upgrade U City to level 3. U City's defenders instantly got fired up. Heavy machine guns spewed blinding fire. Rocket launchers and grenades detonated among the evil army, each turning into a deadly lotus of fire. Watching U City unleash its firepower without restraint, the supporting city lords were drooling with envy. All started making calculations, planning to go back tonight and ask their daughters or nieces in dreams to somehow connect with the Mu clan as in-laws. But the evil spirit coalition hadn't totally broken yet. Seeing his men fall in droves, the Yin Hammer gang leader with a giant hammer, Silver Hammer roared, Gold Hammer gang, smashed them. Instantly, countless massive iron hammers charged with tremendous power were hurled toward the city wall like meteors. Several U City defenders were killed on the spot. Mubekuen's face darkened, his finger pressed tight on the trigger. Focus our fire. Take down the Yin Hammer gang first. But before the bullets could reach, the Yin Zhao clan leader issued defensive orders too. A large group, evil spirits shrouded in black aura shields, swiftly moved up to the front line. They managed to block all the bullets and shells head-on. Whenever the front line runs out of power, the evil spirits in the rear immediately replace them. The battle quickly reached a stalemate. Tai Kai, who was hiding in the back, saw this happen. He finally let out a long breath, relieved of his anger.
He grinned viciously and said to Mubekuen,
Now that those piles of junk aren't holding us back anymore, I wonder what used to survive tonight. Seeing that regular firearms couldn't break the defense, Mubekuen frowned deeply. He lowered his voice and ordered the guards nearby. Hold them off for now. Let my son bring some weapons that can pierce defenses. At the same time, you looked at the piles of ashes scattered around. Rubbing your sore arm, you were about to finish up and rest. Suddenly, your dad's anxious voice exploded again from the communication room. Son, don't rest now, we've hit a tough opponent. Hurry up and get me some heavy-duty gear that can break defenses. You frown. Suddenly sit up straight from your lounge chair. Dad, are you serious? Even heavy machine guns and rocket launchers can't break through? Mu Baikuan took a deep breath. His voice was full of gravity. The heavy firepower earlier really was intense. But now on the other side, they brought in some tough guys with sturdy shields. Regular guns and cannons just can't quickly tear through their defenses. Upon hearing this, you irritably scratched your head, staring at all the paper materials around the yard. Your face was full of helplessness. These evil spirits even come with shields. But the Tongming seal only has level 2 clearance right now. Since even bombs don't work, how am I supposed to get you better weapons right away? Just then, a sudden flash of inspiration struck Mu Baikuan. He slapped his thigh hard, quickly said, I remembered. These defensive spirits are weak against fire. Their shields might stop bullets. But the spirit inside is extremely fragile and sensitive to heat. Hurry and make me some fire-spitting gear. Just roast them directly. Your eyes lit up, and you instantly had an idea. You grabbed paper and pen from the table, while sketching out a weapon design. You took the chance to ask a question that's been on your mind. Leave it to me. I'll get it done right away. But Dad, since you can contact me directly, what about Mom and Grandpa and Grandma? Why haven't they been around? Aren't they with you? As soon as you finished, the other side of the line fell silent. After a moment, Mu Baikuan sighed heavily. His tone sounded deeply powerless. They're really not with me. The underworld is much more complicated than you think. We've all been separated into completely different areas. Hearing this, you looked over. It was Bai Ningbing, the customer from yesterday, walking into the store carrying a gift box. You immediately went forward to greet her, pointing at the chair beside you. Oh, Miss Bai, it's you. Please, have a seat. After Bai Ningbing sat down, she glanced at the strange items nearby, her eyes full of curiosity. Muje, what are you making now? You scratched your head, somewhat embarrassed, rubbing your hands together. These are weapons. I'm making them for my dad. I modified them myself, so they turned out like this. But they should work well. Miss Bai, why did you come so suddenly? Bai Ningbing lowered her head, nervously twisting the hem of her clothes, and pushed the gift box in front of you. Her voice got softer and softer. My brother appeared in my dream again. He told me to thank you properly. He said he leveled up thanks to your help. Muje, thank you so much. This is just a small token from me. Please accept it. He hesitated. Even his ears turned red, as if he'd gathered a ton of courage. My brother wants me to marry you. Hearing that, you gasped in shock. The corners of your mouth twitched. Why does everything have to be in a dream? If he really likes me, couldn't he just say so directly? You cleared your throat and tried to wave it off politely. Well, miss, we just met for the first time yesterday. Before you finished speaking, the sound of high heels clicking came from outside again. A beautiful woman in her 30s walked in quickly. She stared right at you, her eyes blazing with undisguised desire. Your back tingled from her gaze, but you braced yourself to greet her. Is there something you need? The woman sized you up, nodding with satisfaction. Then she cast a disdainful glance at Bai Ningbing. Her lips curled into a teasing smile. Do you think I'm attractive? Am I better than the little girl next to you? Your whole body stiffened. You hadn't even reacted yet, when the woman suddenly stepped forward, firmly grabbing your arm. With her other hand, she slammed down a reddish-brown household register. Her tone was forceful, leaving no room for argument. Brother, take the household register and come with me. We're going to the marriage bureau. Seeing all this, your mind went blank. Then a noisy sound of footsteps, accompanied by chattering voices, poured into the shop. A group of women, each dressed differently, rushed in, vying to get closer. Are you Muje? Hello. Muje, you're so tall and handsome. Muje, hello. Let's get married. Luje, my dad appeared in my dream and wants me to go on a blind date with you. The women all crowded forward, grabbing your clothes and arms tightly. The air was thick with overwhelming scents of perfume, making your head spin. You suddenly gathered your strength, broke away from the crowd, and retreated several steps to the corner. You screamed in frustration, "Stop! Ladies, I'm begging you. Please don't pull me around. Looking at the swarm of wild, crazy girls before you, your heart dropped sharply. Your dad used to be mysterious, saying he's arranged an important event in your life. Is this absurd chaos what he meant? That old man has never done anything reliable. But the women ignored your breakdown and fought even harder for you. A young girl covered in designer brands rolled her eyes disdainfully and pointed at the beautiful woman, taunting her. Muje, do you want to date me? I can support you for life. Don't listen to her. That little girl doesn't know anything. The beautiful woman was furious, her face dark, putting her hands on her waist, firing back defiantly. Give me a break, you're already over 30. You just want an older woman with a younger guy. The girl snorted, tilting her chin up. What do you mean? I'm mature and way more charming than you little girls. Muje, come get a marriage license with me. Muje, ignore her. I'll take you to live in a big villa. Seeing the chaos about to spin out of control, your head was splitting with pain. You slammed your hands on the table forcefully and shouted at the top of your lungs. Can you all just stop yelling? I'm getting really stressed out. If you're not buying anything, then just hurry up and leave. I won't see you out. But instead of leaving, those two girls in designer clothes took a step forward. They stared at Muje, eyes blazing. Don't kick me out. Of course I want to buy something. Whatever you have, I'll buy it. I'll even buy you along with everything else. You take a deep breath, rubbing your temples helplessly. You force a bitter smile. You don't even really know me yet, and you're already trying to date me. Isn't this a bit too fast? What if I'm not a good guy? Wouldn't you be losing out then? The women pushed forward without hesitation. Their gaze became intense. You're not a good guy? That's even more my type. You know what people say, good guys aren't bad. And women don't love them. Even I like bad boys. Life is so much more fun with a naughty husband. All utter nonsense. You were stunned hearing all this. Just when you were completely desperate, a familiar and extremely annoying voice suddenly exploded in your mind. It was that aggravating tone. How's that? Satisfied now? Your dad prepared this surprise just for you, very carefully. It's time for you to start thinking about your future. Any of these girls catch your eye? Most of them look pretty decent to me.
Hearing this,
Anger surged inside you instantly. You opened your mouth, ready to start cursing, but it was like something got stuck in your throat, and you couldn't get a single word out. Your dad's proud, light-hearted voice rang out in your ear again. I tweaked things a little. You can talk to me in your head now. If you say anything out loud right now, people would think you're crazy. Hearing that, you finally realized what was going on. Internally, you gritted your teeth. Old man, I was just about to settle the score with you. What's up with all these women here today? Each and every one of them insists on dating me. Are they out of their minds? Mugaikuin let out a hearty laugh. My old buddies send messages to their families in their dreams. They all want to get in with us. These women aren't idiots. Most of them are rich ladies. They're really into the whole fate and luck thing. They know being connected to our family brings good fortune. On top of that, my son is tall and handsome. So of course they're all eager to marry you. He paused for a moment. His tone became a bit more urging. All right, hurry up and think about if there's any girl you like. I've been wanting a grandchild for ages. Now that you've figured things out, you're left speechless. Looking at the women still bickering in front of you, you slammed the table suddenly. Enough with the arguing. In my store, you can only buy stuff. If you're not buying, get out right now. Don't blame me if I get rough. Seeing this, the women were afraid you really would get physical. So they rushed to make their purchases. Of course I'm buying something. Give me an assault rifle. I want grenades and incendiaries. I'm buying a rocket launcher. You take a deep breath, pointing at the paper and pen on the table. Your tone softens a bit. Let's go one at a time, nice and easy. Write down the deceased name and birth details clearly. I have to make the items on the spot. If you don't trust me, then don't buy. If you do, scan the code and pay first. Unified price, 1 per person. The women didn't hesitate at all scrambling to pull out their phones to scan and pay, transferring the money as they went, not forgetting to flirt with Muje. How about we grab a nice dinner together sometime? Come travel with me if you're free. You collected the money expressionlessly, completely ignoring their invitations, and finally managed to chase everyone out of your store. Once the door closed again, the store was quiet at last. Only you and Bai Ning were left. Bai Ning stared at the empty doorway, then turned to you, face full of shock. Her beautiful eyes were full of confusion. Wu Zhe, why did so many women suddenly show up? They all want to. You slump helplessly into the chair. Rubbing your aching forehead, you force a bitter smile. Ooh, don't even get me started. It's all because of my dad down in the underworld, messing around. Because of his ghost buddies. They showed up in my family's dreams and pulled this whole farce on me. Hearing this, Bai Ningbing drops her gaze thoughtfully. A faint blush tinges her fair cheeks. Her voice as quiet as a mosquito in my dreams. Turns out my situation is just the same. But my brother only said I should stay with you. He didn't say why. You freeze for a moment and look at her in surprise. You don't know anything, yet you're just listening to your brother? Could it be that before you can finish? The atmosphere in the air suddenly becomes a bit delicate. Bai Ningbing clutches the hem of her clothes tightly, her head dipping even lower. Her ears are so red it looks like they're bleeding. Ever since first sharing feelings yesterday, he's felt incredibly at ease with you. There's already a hint of affection buried in his heart. This girl is nothing like any other woman. He remembers his dad's serious voice again in his mind. He really seems to have fallen for you. You've got to seize the chance. I can sense the reason is still there, and it's definitely all clean. That last group of women? Most weren't pure anymore. But this girl is pretty and sweet, and definitely a good match for you. At the moment, you're the daughter-in-law I'm most satisfied with. You secretly feel a bit smug inside. Dad, you mean? That old man snorts coldly, his tone tight with a bit of anxiety. Brat, how could your dad lie to you about this kind of thing? You'd better treasure this girl. When your old man levels up to level 5, I'll be able to return to the mortal world. If you're not married with kids by then, just watch how I'll deal with you. Don't forget what it felt like to get a beating as a kid. By the way, make more weapons these next few days. Another outbreak is coming soon. With that, his voice fades. You remember the painful beatings you got as a kid, and you shiver uncontrollably. As the vibe in the shop grows more awkward, you clear your throat twice, quickly grabbing the teapot on the table. You pour her a cup of tea, trying to break the ice. Miss Bai, you've been here for a while, and I haven't even poured you tea yet. Here, have a drink. Bai Ningbing takes the teacup from you, takes a sip, and glances at that exaggerated armored vehicle nearby. She takes the initiative to start a conversation, Mu Zhe. About that new weapon you made. It's got quite a punch. You follow her gaze. A confident look flashes in your eyes. Of course! My place is loaded with heavy firepower. The firepower is more than enough. Bai Ningbing puts down the teacup softly, smiling at you with curved eyebrows. There's a hint of challenge in her voice. So now, you're basically the exclusive arms manufacturer for the underworld, right? You pat your chest, answering with zero modesty. Naturally, Bai Ningbing rubs her chin, a look of contemplation flashing in her beautiful eyes. Does that mean you can burn anything? Right now, you're only burning real-world weapons. Have you ever thought of burning something fantastical? Like Transformers or giant dinosaurs? Hearing that, your mind suddenly clears up, like the clouds parted. Your eyes light up. You slap your thigh and agree, great idea. But I'm guessing the permissions won't allow for Transformers right now. But maybe I can try dinosaurs or fierce beasts. Just burning animals isn't enough. But if I made mechanical animals and added heavy firepower, that'd be awesome. What do you think, Miss Bai? A gentle smile curves on Bai Ningbing's lips. Mu Zhe. Stop calling me Miss Bai all the time. I'm not calling you Boss Mu, am I? We're friends now, aren't we? You scratch your head with a smile and reply. You're right. I'll just call you Ningbing from now on. The idea to make mechanical animals with weapons makes sense. Bai Ningbing nods in agreement. Yeah. Mechanical animals with guns and ammo would definitely pack a punch. Let's do it. You immediately pull out a photo of a tiger, start building a skeleton frame, and add mounts for heavy machine guns and rocket launchers. Moments later, Dinosaurs, elephants, giant bears, and even a giant model loaded with weapons are all piled up on the table. You pick up a pen and sketch out detailed designs on paper. Seeing all this, Bai Ningbing comes closer, full of admiration. You're really amazing. They look just like the real thing. Just your scale is a bit off. While you jot down notes on the blueprint, you laugh and explain. If I made everything full size, my bones would fall apart. As long as the dimensions are labeled, burning them will naturally scale them up. But you can't exaggerate too much, or you'll go over the synchronization permissions. You pause your work at this point, your tone growing a bit more serious. Don't go thinking I'm some genius. To learn this craft, I got beaten plenty as a kid. My dad made me kneel and wash laundry every day. Seeing him stifling a laugh, you can't help but complain some more. My dad had all kinds of ways to torment people. He basically trained me to be invincible. When I got in trouble at school and teachers punished me, it didn't even bother me anymore. Bai Ningbing can't stop laughing. Her eyes are filled with genuine joy. So you were like this as a kid? You stamped the transparent family seal on the models and tossed them into the brazier. The firelight flickers, and Bai Ningbing lets out a soft sigh, her face full of emotion. If I hadn't met you, I probably would have never known that even the departed have to fight battles in the underworld. You stare at the dancing flames, replying casually. Actually, I just found out myself not long ago. My dad told me everything in my dreams. Hearing that, Bai Ningbing glances with some confusion at the pile of models on the table. You're making weapons for so many people. How can you handle that all by yourself? Ever thought about opening a factory? You wave her off, cutting short a lot of details. You don't get it. These things must be stamped with my family's transparent seal. And I can't be careless. If it's mass-produced and the spiritual power isn't enough, they'll break after a few uses. And that could get someone killed. So there's no way to turn this craft into a factory operation. Bai Ningbing nods thoughtfully. Then her eyes light up as she quickly asks, "All right, since it's for fighting monsters, besides weapons, shouldn't stuff that boosts their own strength be possible too?" You rub your chin, not immediately catching her meaning. If you're not using weapons, then what? Doesn't matter what kind of battle. You can't win without enough firepower. Bai Ningbing leans forward a little, patiently analyzing. Weapons are external, but what about internal factors? Like cultivation in novels? Can you try making some kind of sacred fruit? Or miraculous items that directly boost their abilities? That instantly sparks an idea in your mind. You clap your hands suddenly, your face full of excitement, Ningbing. Your imagination is incredible. That actually makes sense. Once I finish these orders I have on hand, I'll grab some of those magic fruits and bring them over to test the waters. Just as you lower your head to keep working, you hear Bai Ningbing's somewhat hesitant fifth brother call from beside you. "Hey, see if I can help out with something." Your whole body freezes. You stop what you're doing. You lift your head in surprise. "You know this craft too?" Bai Ningbing skillfully picks up a few bamboo strips and glances over. "I used to make all kinds of handmade crafts, so I have some experience." Watching him, he quickly puts together a rocket launcher that actually looks legit. Framework. You are surprised in your heart. Your good impression of this girl gets even stronger. With his help, the rush order efficiency in the shop visibly improves. Meanwhile, the pressure in the Yuchang Group CEO's office is terrifyingly low. Arrogant leans back in his chair with a gloomy face. All he can think about is the humiliating scene of you kicking him out yesterday. He's so angry he could grind his molars to dust. His subordinate standing in front of the desk swallows nervously, reporting cautiously. "Young master, are you really going to buy that shopping street?" "All right. Our guys trailing the Baishi shop just sent news. Miss Bai Ningbing visited Mubro again today. They were chatting and laughing in the shop, even making crafts together." Upon hearing this, Arrogant's pupils contract suddenly.
He jumps right out of his chair. Huh?
How did those two get close? He's been chasing Bai Ningbing for ages but only gets shut down.
No.
She's actually hitting it off with some broke guy who runs a Pepsi store. Things are heating up. The huge sense of loss drives him crazy with jealousy. He stares out the window, gritting his teeth. I have to buy that shopping street. I'm handing this job to you right now. A venomous coldness flickers in Arrogant's eyes. A broke loser running the Baishi shop has the nerve to dream big. Just wait, I'm going to destroy you. Meanwhile, above Hell's Moon City, a level 3 city-exclusive teleportation portal suddenly opens. The square is instantly swarmed with ghosts. An old man strokes his beard, looking proud about the dream he had for his granddaughter. He told her to promise the young master a car and a house guaranteed to work. A nearby old lady rolls her eyes, unwilling to back down. I specifically gave my son a dream, telling him to study something about relationships. The surrounding ghosts hear this and shudder all over. They rub their arms and step aside.
Damn.
You're ruthless. Just as everyone's arguing, the teleportation device slowly descends. A giant pile of massive objects lands. The place goes instantly silent. All the ghosts are stunned. Mubaekuin's eyes go wide, looking at mechanical animals with gun barrels up front, and some tank-like armored car, jaw dropped. You brat. Are you screwing me over here? What the heck are these things? Trustworthy, his subordinate's eyes light up beside him. He eagerly steps forward. Sir, let's not rush to conclusions. Anything the young master sends over has got to be miraculous. Baikuen hears this, pats the hood, grits his teeth, opens the door, and climbs in. All right, I'll drive this to the Ghoul Valley gate and fire off a couple rounds to see what it's got. As soon as he finishes, he slams the gas pedal down. The armored car roars out of the city. Meanwhile, deep within Ghoul Valley, a pool of resentment shrouded in dark mist is churning violently. Iron Armor sits in the seat of honor, staring hard at the pool, his eyes full of fanaticism and greed. Baikuen lost to you before. This time, I'll devour your soul and return to the living. Accompanied by a shrill noise, thick clouds of dark energy surge out from the water, turning into countless evil spirits clad in glowing armor. Witnessing this scene, Iron Armor shoots to his feet, so excited his whole body sparks silver. The armor has all leveled up. Even heavy machine guns don't scare them now. Immediately after, a massive wave of resentment gushes from the pool bottom and goes straight into his body. In an instant, his armor blasts out a dazzling dark golden glow. Feeling the surge of power inside, Iron Armor laughs wildly at the sky. Suddenly, he draws his sword and points at the city. Soldiers, follow me to Yuchang and settle the score. Today we'll flatten them once and for all. Just as the Ghoul army prepares to march out. On the wasteland outside Ghoul Valley, Mu Baikuen slams the brakes to stop the armored car, his head drenched in sweat, staring at the console packed with buttons. His palms are covered in cold sweat. Back when he was alive, the fanciest car he ever drove was a QQ. Now, faced with all this high-tech, he's totally lost. Frustrated, he pounds the steering wheel hard, cursing through gritted teeth. This is such a scam. You brat, don't you know I've never even touched an armored car? And there isn't even an instruction manual. Which one fires cannons? Which one blows up the thing? Mubaekuin sighs helplessly and decides to just blindly press the buttons on the console. Right after that, the armored car awakens like a raging beast and starts roaring like crazy. The heavy machine gun, incendiary rounds, rocket launcher, and grenade launcher all start firing together, blasting toward Ghoul Valley. Seeing this, the ghosts on the city wall, their eyes almost pop from shock. Then they erupt in wild cheers. They excitedly cling to the wall, wishing they could be inside this amazing killing machine themselves. For the rush. Meanwhile, Gold Armor is riding high, leading the upgraded Silver Armor army, marching toward the valley gate. Suddenly, the sharp screech of something ripping through the air rings out. He jerks his head up and sees a heavy shell trailing smoke, already right in his face. Gold Armor is shocked. His whole body shudders. His mind goes blank. There's no time to react. Why am I getting hit as soon as I walk out the door? It's life or death. He can only instinctively channel all his yin energy, making his gold armor shine intensely, gritting his teeth as he faces the shell head-on. With a deafening boom, his armor's glow dims, and Gold Armor is pushed back several steps by the blast. A burning pain hits his chest. He looks down at the dust-covered armor. His face darkens, gritting his teeth. Those shells weren't like this before. Why are they stronger now? But before he can catch his breath, another shell comes screaming through the air. Gold Armor's face turns vicious. He draws a dull sword with a backhand and swings a wave of yin energy at the shell. The bomb splits in half midair, but the explosion wave still pushes him back several steps. He hasn't even seen the enemy, and he's getting blasted like this already. This made him feel extremely stifled. Hearing a loud bang, the evil spirit's underlings following behind looked terrified, shrinking their necks as they edged closer, their voices trembling a bit. "Boss, are we still going to attack?" Jinkai gripped his sword handle tightly, his eyes seemingly about to burst into flames. He almost squeezed out the answer through gritted teeth. "We must take you city. I have to catch Mubekuen and torture him slowly." Before he could finish his words, up in the air, several thumb-sized liquid bottles flew over in quick succession. All the evil spirits stared blankly at the unidentified objects that dropped on the ground, completely confused. Several evil spirits nearby instinctively reached out to pick them up, glancing at each other. What on earth is this? It doesn't seem like a weapon. Those bastards from U City? Did they throw the wrong things by mistake? This stuff doesn't even look like a bomb. Out of the corner of his eye, Jinkai spotted those little bottles, and a sense of dread shot up his spine. He hurriedly yelled, "Put those things down. Fall back, who knows what U City is up to now?" But before he could finish, a sudden series of intense explosions erupted. A huge group of evil spirits couldn't dodge in time, and were blown to pieces on the spot. Immediately after, another wave of bullets rained down from outside the valley. While Jinkai was directing the retreat, he glanced back at his team, now more than half dead or wounded, feeling devastated by the heavy losses before even leaving the valley. Morale among the team instantly hit rock bottom. A few evil spirits who barely escaped with their lives came crawling back in panic, their pleading voices full of despair. "Boss, can we go to another area instead? We really shouldn't mess with U City anymore. Yeah, if we were fighting somewhere else, we'd definitely be unstoppable. Why do we have to keep going against U City?" Hearing his men admit defeat, Jinkai was shaking with rage.
He suddenly slashed his sword against the stone wall.
His eyes bloodshot with uncontrollable fury. "We can't back down so easily. With me here, you can respawn as many times as you want. Don't be afraid. I refuse to believe we can't handle U City forever." Meanwhile, on the hillside outside Evil Spirit Valley, Mu Baikuen sat in the driver's seat of the armored vehicle, tapping the steering wheel lightly with his fingers. "Why aren't those evil spirits coming out? I've tried for a while now. It's been pretty lively. Just not sure about the killing power yet." Mu Baikuen paused, his eyes flashing with a hint of doubt, talking to himself. "If they won't come out, could it be they don't take my attacks seriously? Seems like the firepower is still a bit lacking. Next time, I'll have the kid modify something even more powerful." If the Jinkai inside the valley could hear this, he'd probably explode on the spot from rage. Seeing that there was no further movement in the valley, Mu Baikuen didn't linger any longer, and drove the armored vehicle back to U City. Mu Baikuen's gaze swept over his brothers, all looking hopeful, his tone steady and firm. "Brothers, Iron Kai and the others are probably still recovering. Let's prepare in advance. Everyone needs to level up as fast as possible. We're still short in strength and level. Once I reach level 2, I can return to the living world. You guys need to work hard too. At least make it to level 2 warriors, so I can take you all back with me. Just being able to see your family again in the living world is the biggest hope for everyone."
Hearing this,
Everyone's eyes instantly lit up with excitement. After giving out orders, Mu Baikuen turned and took the other weapons into the mansion, getting ready to really study those mechanical animals. Meanwhile, in the other level 2 towns of the Underworld, things were completely stirred up. A few souls were stroking the newly delivered high-tech hot weapons, exclaiming excitedly, "Awesome! Young Master Mu from U City is so efficient. He got us these weapons so quickly. With these cool gadgets, we don't have to fear evil spirits anymore." An old man next to them sighed, a hint of envy appearing on his face. "It's just that I can only send dreams a limited number of times, only 5 times a month. If only I could send a dream to my granddaughter every day." to urge her to quickly woo young Master Mu. For years, the cities were always at a disadvantage against the evil spirits. They were beaten down and utterly frustrated. Now that you have provided the new weapons, everyone's morale is soaring, just as spirits in the city were at their highest. Out on the wilderness beyond the walls, the massive legion of evil spirits was already at the gates. However, when the spirits leading the charge looked up and saw clearly on the city walls that whole line of dark gun barrels and heavy cannons, the sudden appearance of these weapons stopped them in their tracks. They were all stunned. In their minds, they couldn't help but recall the terrifying suppressive fire of Yu City. They never expected even these ordinary cities would be equipped with the same deadly weapons. The deafening sound of explosions, mixed with the roaring of heavy machine guns, sent smoke and chaos instantly rising outside every city. Faced with a hail of bullets raining down, the evil spirits at the front fell in waves. The various leaders of the evil spirits witnessed the one-sided massacre and were scared out of their wits. They frantically shouted at their minions, "There's no way we can fight like this." When the city lords saw this, they immediately drew their weapons and aimed at the fleeing enemy, grinning with excitement as they tried to run. "No way! Open fire! Rack up those merits! Protect the human realm!" When the guards heard this, their blood instantly boiled with excitement. The Molotov cocktails and rocket launchers in their hands were thrown like they were free. Amid the shrill, agonized screams, the remaining evil spirits fled in a panic after being bombarded, covering their heads and scurrying, all the while cursing at the guards in frustration, yelling about breaking the rules of the netherworld. The guards paid no attention, wielding their flamethrowers, suppressing them with intense firepower, and shouting about the overwhelming defeat. After retreating to safety, a few battered evil spirits hurried over to their boss, their voices full of despair. "Boss, we really can't win this fight. How about we hide out in Evil Spirit Valley for now, and wait until their lifespans are over? Then we'll deal with them in their next life." The boss gritted his teeth, his face so dark it almost dripped water. Full of rage but completely helpless, they could only call a truce for now, and contact the other leaders to discuss their next move. As the smoke of battle slowly cleared, the guards looked out over the empty wilderness and felt a touch of worry amid the exhilaration. One guard scratched his head, looking uneasily at the city lord. "If the evil spirits really do hide and don't come out, how are we supposed to earn merits?" The reincarnation city lord put his weapon away and dusted off his clothes, a flash in his eyes. "They won't give up the chance to reincarnate. They'll come back sooner or later. Let's take this time and hurry to Yu City. See if young Master Mu has even better new weapons." When everyone heard that, all the souls from the various cities began to head straight for the powerful Yu City, hoping to ally themselves with the strongest. Meanwhile, night had already fallen in the mortal world. Bai Ningbing packed up her things and turned to look at Yu, a gentle smile at the corner of her lips. "I'm heading home. I felt really relaxed being here with you today. It's nice to meet you." Looking at his profile soft by the lamplight, you couldn't help but comment how nice it felt here. "You're always welcome anytime." When you said that, a sly glint flashed in Bai Ningbing's eyes. She suddenly stepped a bit closer, locking her gaze right on yours. "Really? Then I don't want to leave. Can I stay over at your place tonight?" You froze up completely. Your mind went blank, scratching the back of your head awkwardly, unable to look him in the eye. "It's really not convenient for us to live together." You looked at your own shabby little place and wondered how a delicate rich girl could stand it. Not to mention, a man and a woman alone together made things pretty awkward. But Bai Ningbing didn't care at all, shrugging, crossing her arms in front of her chest, a bit teasing in her tone. "It's not like it's ancient times. What's so inconvenient about it? I'm just crashing for one night. Are you really that worried that I'd do something to you?" Seeing you still silent, his gaze dropped a little. The smile on his lips gradually faded, turning into a helpless sigh. "Just say yes. My so-called home is cold and empty, just a shell. Going back would just feel suffocating."
Hearing this,
You couldn't help but wonder, frowning. Don't your parents care about you? You're a rich girl now, after all. How can you seem so unhappy? Bai Ningbing's lips trembled softly. Her eyes instantly turned red. A bitter smile appeared as she mentioned her parents. They actually abandoned me before. You don't know the details. Bai Ningbing's eyes lowered slightly, her smile even more bitter. Actually, my parents favored sons over daughters. Plus our family was poor back then. So they ruthlessly abandoned me. Later they became famous business people, and were afraid the media would expose them for abandoning their daughter, damaging their reputation. So they held a press conference, pretending I was just lost, and put on a reunion act for the public. Hearing that, you suddenly felt a pang in your heart, and couldn't help but feel sympathy for the seemingly glamorous girl before you. You grew genuinely sympathetic. Your brows furrowed slightly. There was a trace in your eyes. What about the brother who was abandoned with you? A gentle light flickered in Bai Ningbing's eyes. She softly shook her head. We're not related by blood. He's also someone unlucky. We shared the same fate, and have looked after each other since childhood. To me,
He's already my real big brother.
you sighed, and looked at her gently. As long as you don't mind how basic this place is, you can stay as long as you want. Bai Ningbing smiled sweetly, her eyes shining with new life. I've endured much worse before. Honestly, this place feels cozy to me. After getting Bai Ningbing settled in, and having her rest in your room, you turned and went to your father's old room. A little while later, the air was filled with the smell of hearty home-cooked food. You followed your nose to the living room, and saw a few homemade dishes already on the table, along with a steaming bowl of rice. A few damp strands of hair clung to Bai Ningbing's forehead. Her cheeks were flushed by the stove's heat. She served up a bowl of porridge, and handed it to you. It's been ages since I've cooked myself. Seeing your old kitchen made me think of the old days, when I didn't have money for snacks, and could only fight with my brother for rice crusts. The food's still hot, eat up. The familiar smell of food brought a warm feeling to your heart, with steam rising around you. The two of you enjoyed a cozy dinner. Washing the dishes and cleaning up was also taken over by Bai Ningbing. Seeing her busy figure in the kitchen, you thought to yourself anyone who married her would be the luckiest man alive. Late at night with everything quiet, Bai Ningbing went back to her room to rest. You carefully carried the iron box. You set it down under the big tree in the yard. Your heart was full of anticipation for the treasure Dad would bring tonight. Only then did you feel at ease and return to your room to sleep. You don't know how long you slept. Suddenly, an extremely shrill scream exploded by your ear. Your whole body froze. You instantly jolted awake from your dream. Cold sweat broke out across your back. Oh no, Dad had warned you over and over. No matter what you hear at midnight, you absolutely must not go to the yard to check. But you forgot to tell Bai Ningbing about this taboo. You hurriedly rolled out of bed, rushing toward the yard in a panic. You fixed your gaze. Bai Ningbing was trembling in a corner. His face was pale as a sheet. He clung desperately to your arm. His voice was shaking uncontrollably. Yikes. There's a ghost, Wu Zhe. So scary I ran into a ghost. You were filled with regret. You quickly patted his back. Ah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's just a little forest spirit. It means no harm. Bai Ningbing shook his head desperately. Tears welled up in his eyes. How is that anything like a little spirit? It was eerily floating. Before you could finish, his eyes rolled back. He collapsed limply into your arms. You scrambled to check his pulse. After confirming it was just from fright and fainting, you finally let out a long sigh of relief. You hurriedly carried him back to the room. After making him comfortable, you immediately grabbed paper and pen. Anxiously, you scribbled a note and burned it. Dad, there's a haunting at home asking for help. Then you quickly walked to the big tree in the yard. You opened the iron box. Inside lay quietly a high-quality yellow jade. Right then, suddenly you remembered Dad angrily scolding him. Damn stubborn brat. Didn't I warn you over and over not to go out in the middle of the night? Can't you just stay put in your room? You little rascal just had to go take a look. Hurry up and find someone to handle your remains. Don't ever say I'm your father when you get to the underworld. Listening to this barrage of curses, you were completely confused. A deep crease formed between your brows. You snapped back in annoyance. Old man, can't you be clear? Looking at a ghost, can it really kill someone? Is it really that serious? Mu Baikuan's voice sounded full of despair and resentment. Utterly disappointed in you. Did you get the treasure? That means the transaction is complete. But you're a living person full of yang energy. Running into them would damage their cultivation. Those mountain ghosts hold grudges. They'll absolutely haunt you for life. Start getting your affairs in order. But before you die, you have to find a woman. Leave an heir for the Mu family. And act fast. The corners of your mouth twitched hard twice. You were absolutely furious. You dirty old man. Your son's about to die. And all you care about is leaving descendants. But don't get ahead of yourself. The one who saw the ghost wasn't me.
It was Bai Ningbing.
He already fainted from fright.
Do you actually have a way to save him? Mu Baikuan was clearly stunned for a second. Then his tone shot up a few octaves. What? You got that girl to stay overnight in your house? Kid, you move fast. Since he's the one who saw it, why didn't you tell me earlier? Made me waste all my breath for nothing. He's not in any danger. Just use the Tongming seal to absorb the yin energy from him. Upon hearing this, you simply couldn't hold back your anger. The veins on your forehead bulged. So the Tongming solution could have saved him all along. Earlier, when you thought it was me, you didn't mention a word. You only told me to get my affairs in order and leave descendants. Are you really my dad or not? Should I even make weapons for you in the future? Knowing he was at fault, Mu Baikuan's tone immediately softened. He let out a couple of awkward chuckles to please you. Hey, son. Dad was just flustered. Don't hold a grudge. Hurry and save him. She's your future daughter-in-law. You couldn't be bothered to argue anymore. You gave a cold snort, turned and quickly ran back to the room. You gently placed the Tongming seal on Bai Ningbing's snow-white wrist. On the bed, Bai Ningbing's previously pale face finally regained its rosy color. You could finally relax. Decided to sit at the bedside and keep watch. You don't know how much time passed. Drowsiness swept over you like a tide. When you opened your eyes again, bright sunlight flooded the entire room. You rubbed your dry eyes. You were about to stretch, but your body suddenly stiffened. You found yourself lying in bed. You frantically threw off the blanket, hurriedly put on your shoes. You were about to head out and look. Bai Ningbing walked in from outside with a cup of water. You quickly walked over. You looked Bai Ningbing up and down. How are you feeling now? A blush spread across Bai Ningbing's fair cheeks. His voice was as gentle as a breeze. I'm fine. You awkwardly scratched your head, wishing you could disappear. That's good you fainted last night. I'd planned to watch over you until you woke up, but I passed out myself. I'm really sorry. You wanted to take good care of him, but ended up having your shoes taken off and blanket put over you. A single man and woman alone together. If anyone gets the wrong idea, even jumping into the Yellow River wouldn't clear your name. Bai Ningbing looked at your embarrassed expression. A faint smile flashed in his eyes. He thoughtfully reassured you. You don't need to blame yourself. It was already so late last night. Watching over me was quite exhausting. Besides, your place is comfortable. I want to stay a few more days. I'll pay you rent if needed. You heard that, and reflexively blurted out. Of course you need to pay rent. Otherwise you'd be freeloading. Bai Ningbing was nearly speechless. He stomped hard. With red eyes he scolded you. You hopeless blockhead. Watching his father's figure leave, you felt a hint of bitterness in your heart. Actually, you do understand his feelings. But with your current poor circumstances, you really aren't worthy of a rich heiress. You didn't want him to suffer along with you, so you stopped thinking about it and dove into your workshop. An hour later, noisy footsteps sounded outside the shop. You looked up. Old Su appeared, surrounded by a crowd of well-dressed businessmen. He strode in grandly. Old Su was beaming with happiness. He waved his hand generously and spoke with full vigor. Boss Mo, my grandson keeps appearing in dreams, urging for new weapons. If you have any new items, just make them. Money is not an issue. These folks have the same needs as well. None of them are lacking. Those arrogant, wealthy folks are now surprisingly obedient behind Mr. Su. That's right, Boss Mu, however many you can make, we'll take them. Faced with this sudden huge order, you're overjoyed inside. You rush over enthusiastically. No problem. Everyone, please come inside. The shop is a bit small. so it might not fit this many people. Everyone waves their hands repeatedly, speaking unusually politely and considerately. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just wait outside. Boss Moo, you go ahead. You keenly notice. These people seem to have a natural respect for Mr. Su, but you don't point it out. You turn around and head to the warehouse. Let me bring out some chairs for everyone to make do with. But no one immediately agrees. And instead they all look toward Mr. Su. Not until Mr. Su gives a slight nod. Do they all say in unison, "Thank you, Boss Moo"? Just as you carry out the chairs, Bai Ningbing, who just returned from buying daily necessities, happens to walk by the door. He sees the courtyard full of people, and his gaze lands on Mr. Su in the lead. Surprised, he blurts out, "Mr. Su, why are you here?" When Mr. Su hears this and looks over, his eyes scan the bags in Bai Ningbing's hands. A knowing smile instantly appears on his old face. "Girl from the Bai family, you bought so many daily necessities. Are you living here now?" Before Bai Ningbing can explain, Mr. Su just smiles and nods to himself, offering a hearty blessing. A perfect couple, a marriage made in heaven. Bai Ningbing's face turns red to her ears with embarrassment, so shy that she can't even respond. She grabs her things and quickly slips inside without looking back. You're left scratching your head, still handing out stools, with no idea what just happened. All you can do is bring over the newly made paper model. "Mr. Su, take a look at this new armored vehicle." The attention of Mr. Su and the others is instantly drawn over. They can't help but ask, "Wow, what kind of armored vehicle is this?" It looks really impressive. There are so many weapons mounted on it. Everyone gathers around, chattering about the war vehicle. Although it looks rather odd, they still guess this thing must be powerful. Mr. Su moves in to examine the vehicle closely, with a curious gleam in his eye. "Boss Moo, this new weapon of yours is kind of strange. Is it really an armored vehicle?" You pat the top of the paper car, looking completely confident. "This is my upgraded armored vehicle based on my own design. I don't really know the inner workings. I just pieced it together simply, so it looks a bit rough. But its actual combat power is no joke." Mr. Su nods without hesitation, waving his big hand. "I trust you. Make me one just like it." Seeing Mr. Su make the decision, the group of rich folks behind him scramble to chime in. "Boss Moo makes good stuff. We'll take them all." You look seriously around the group and lay out the rules. "Everyone, register the names and birth dates of the deceased for burning first. Also, let me be clear about the price. 40,000 per vehicle. But it's absolutely worth the price. No objections, right?"
Hearing this,
Everyone waves their hands dismissively, saying this kind of money is nothing to them. Seeing this hot scene, Bai Ningbing steps up to help, swiftly handing out registration forms to everyone. You, on the other hand, dive into your workbench, working against the clock to fill the orders. Mr. Su comes over to you with a big smile, his tone full of curiosity. "Boss Moo, I'm really curious. Why are you the only one selling weapons? Why don't the other shops sell them? Is it that they don't have the qualifications?" When you hear this, you put down your drawing brush and greet Mr. Su with a big smile. "If you have any questions, just ask. Just call me Zhao Mu." Mr. Su nods in agreement, smiling brightly. "Then I'll call you Zhao Mu. Can you give us the inside scoop? What's really going on here?" You glance around. Actually, it's nothing that special. The main thing is, our family inherited an Underworld certified seal from our ancestors. As long as I stamp this seal on a weapon model, it'll work perfectly when burned for the Underworld.
hearing this,
Bai Ningbing had a sudden realization. Her eyes instantly lit up. "So you're saying, your shop is officially designated by the Underworld?" You nod in confirmation. Everyone in the yard breaks into chatter. They all sigh about the money wasted on previous burnings. They decide on the spot. From now on, they'll only buy funeral supplies from your shop. You quickly bow to the crowd, grinning from ear to ear. "Thank you all for your support. It's a win-win if you keep coming back. It's great for both sides." As more and more paper tanks pile up in the yard, you frown slightly, looking at the entire yard filled with paper offerings. You can't help but feel worried. If you light them up right here, the fire would get out of control. It would definitely burn down the whole shop. Gotta find a spacious place. Just when you're at a complete loss, Mr. Su notices your concern. He turns to look into the crowd. A middle-aged man with slicked back hair. His tone is gentle with a hint of authority. I remember you have an empty lot nearby. Let Zhao Mu use it for burning the offerings. Xiaoming, being called upon, dares not slack off. He nods repeatedly, with a flattering smile on his face. Of course, that's no problem. That land is just sitting idle, Mu boss. It's all yours. At his words, some are a little stunned. You widen your eyes in disbelief. That's prime land on the outskirts. Over 100 square meters, easily worth over 500,000. And he just gives it away so casually. You swallow hard, testing to be sure. Mr. Meng, this is a precious spot. Are you sure you're giving it to me directly? Xiaoming waves his hand grandly, acting totally unconcerned, but keeps glancing over at Mr. Su. Of course I'm serious. It's just gathering weeds there anyway. Since Mr. Su has spoken, please don't refuse it. I'll have my assistant prepare it for you right now. Actually, Xiaoming is calculating furiously inside. Normally, he wants to get close to Mr. Su, but couldn't find a way. Now that he sees Mr. Su values you, he naturally seizes the chance to impress. Seeing how generous he is, you don't act polite anymore. You accept without hesitation. Thank you so much, Mr. Meng. I gratefully accept. Bai Ningbing looks at the yard full of paper models, then glances at you. There's a bit of admiration in her eyes. Bro, I have a suggestion. You should go burn the armored vehicles first. I'll stay here and keep making them. What do you think? You think for a moment, then nod. Your eyes are full of gratitude. Thanks for your hard work in advance. I'll make sure to pay you later. Bai Ningbing waves her hand. A bright smile appears on her lips. Oh, please don't be so formal. It's not like I've never worked hard. And doing this isn't hard labor anyway. I don't want to be paid. I just want to help you. It's not for the money. Besides, having something to do makes my life feel more fulfilling. All right, don't move. You watch her busy silhouette, feeling warmed inside. What a wonderful girl. To marry a wife like this really is a fortune earned over several lifetimes. I must marry her someday. Can't let any man take her away. No time to lose. You take the armored cars and some materials, and hop on your electric scooter, heading straight for the land Mr. Meng gave you. To save time, you burn offerings while working on weapons. You keep making weapon models as you burn. You and Bai Ningbing split up that way. After nearly 3 hours of work, you finally finish everything. Mr. Su sees you dripping with sweat, his eyes full of praise. He pats your shoulder. You're pretty efficient. You scratch your head tiredly, grin widely, with excitement in your eyes. I'm not tired, Mr. Su. Gotta make a living. The customer is always right. That's how you keep your reputation, right? You really are thrilled inside. Today you got a Bugatti Veyron replica and made a pile of money. It's just too satisfying. Mr. Su withdraws his hand. With a gentle look, we've already paid in full. Zhao Mu will be leaving now. As he turns to leave, he suddenly pauses, turns back and looks at you seriously. One last thing. Ningbing is a really good girl. Don't let her down. Make sure you cherish her. She has quite a few admirers, including my own grandchild. Though Ningbing isn't interested, his words make you freeze. You feel a jolt of surprise. So even Mr. Su's grandchild likes Ningbing. With that thought, you instinctively look at Bai Ningbing. She lowers her head and doesn't say a word. Seeing this, Mr. Su gives you a knowing smile and waves. All right, I'll be going now. As you watch everyone leave, you lower your gaze and look at Bai Ningbing again, with a hint of mischief in your eyes. I knew such a great girl like you would have plenty of secret admirers. Bai Ningbing lifts her head and gives you a glare, her cheeks slightly red, a bit shy. They have great taste. It's just certain people who can't see it. You chuckle awkwardly and scratch the back of your head, looking a little embarrassed. Actually, I already realized. Hearing that, Bai Ningbing's eyes light up. She lifts her head suddenly, staring at you intently. Then why? You stop smiling, getting serious. Look her in the eyes. You're such a wonderful girl. Who wouldn't like you? But my family has a rule. There can't be too much difference between a couple. I want to catch up with you financially. Only then can I be at ease. But I believe it won't take long. Bai Ningbing listens and pouts a little with a soft sigh. So that's what it is. But it's not really necessary. Though he doesn't say anything more. He can't help but complain inwardly. How is this enlightened? It's so obvious he's still clueless. Sensing the awkward mood, you quickly point toward the kitchen to change the topic. Say, after all that work, let me cook for you. Bai Ningbing shakes her head, smiling again. Let me cook this time. I love making food, and doesn't wait for your reply. He turned and ran into the kitchen. In fact, he was feeling really happy at that moment. Now that he's sure you like him. Even if your relationship isn't confirmed yet, he's still very satisfied with you. Standing alone in place, he touched his forehead, let out a long breath. Meanwhile, inside a luxurious office, Boss Xiaoming finished listening to his assistant's report. His expression gradually turned dark.
He stared with disbelief in his eyes.
I didn't mishear, did I? It's true. The assistant swallowed hard, looking down, his expression tense before the boss. They really don't want to cooperate with us anymore. They insist the spirit money is all fake, saying we're scammers. All right. They also said the most reliable is Brother Mu's funeral business. Zhao Ming's expression upon hearing this was so angry he laughed. He suddenly slapped the table. He's been running his funeral home for years, making a fortune with all-in-one services and ritual supplies, raking in money hand over fist. He's never encountered before this kind of spirit money, with distinctions between real and fake. In the end, it's all burned anyway. He took a deep breath, forcefully suppressing his anger, his brows tightly furrowed. So, who is Brother Mu? The assistant thought briefly and quickly replied. He's also in the suburbs. Owns a small funeral shop. A few months ago, he came to us to discuss cooperation, but we chased him away. Zhao Ming furrowed his brows, recalling a vague impression. He sneered. Could it be he's causing trouble to get back at me? The assistant nodded repeatedly, his expression suggesting that's probably the case. He's already managed to steal business from us. Zhao Ming stroked his chin. A hint of fiery intent flashed in his eyes about Mu. This guy, do you know his background? Julie felt chills down her back, quickly laid out all the information she'd found. I had someone investigate. That guy's been very unusual lately. His shop was about to go out of business. Suddenly it's booming these days, and all his clients are wealthy. And guess what he mainly sells? He's actually selling weapons. All kinds of firearms and ammo, and the prices are... Upon hearing this, Xiao Ming shuddered all over, his face pale. Selling arms? That guy has a death wish. Isn't he running a funeral shop? The assistant hurriedly waved his hands to explain, his expression worried before the boss. You misunderstood. He's selling funeral goods. Paper-made weapons. The kind you burn for the departed. Not real guns. Only then did Zhao Ming let out a long breath, wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. But, on second thought, he found it ridiculous again. Why burn weapons for people in the underworld? These rich folks have too much time on their hands. He pondered for a while, a flash of shrewdness in his eyes. He knocked and said, since customers need weapons, we can sell them too. Notify all partner funeral shops. Have them all start selling weapons too. The assistant listened, totally confused, opened his mouth, wanting to say something, but seeing the boss had made up his mind, he could only swallow his words, turned to make arrangements. Not long after, several partner funeral shops received notice. Everyone looked at each other in confusion, completely puzzled. But because of the big boss's authority, no one dared ask too much. They could only blindly follow along. Meanwhile, inside Evil Spirit Valley outside U City in the underworld, all the leaders of the 18th layer's evil spirits had gathered. The atmosphere was tense, Jin Kai's brows tightly knitted. He looked around. His tone was filled with frustration. You all know. Where did the enemy get their new weapons from? If we don't come up with a plan, we're just going to keep being sitting ducks. The leaders looked at each other, all feeling stifled, because of the constraints of the underworld rules. They can't move around freely, so they're left guessing. So many varied weapons. Did the underworld distribute them, or did they bring them from the mortal world? Suddenly, Jin Kai slapped his thigh. Golden light flashed in his eyes. You all know about the Tongming seal. Hearing that name, all the leaders suddenly understood. The legendary Underworld certified Tongming seal can make anything burned from the mortal world just as effective.
Exactly.
And considering that all major city lords have the authority to connect with the living world, they're clearly cheating. They can get new weapons anytime. After a moment of silence, Jing Kai squinted his eyes, suddenly clenched his fist, a hint of ruthlessness in his voice. Actually, it's not like we have no chance to win. Clearly, it's all Mu Baikuan's doing. As long as he's not in the 18th layer, things will be much easier for us. A quick defeat is better than a drawn-out one. At worst, we lose some men. Help him ascend to level 4 and move to the 17th layer. The leaders shuddered, quietly started plotting. Even though a lot of followers would have to be sacrificed, they can always revive anyway as evil spirits. Better than hiding in the valley and suffering. They exchanged glances, gritting their teeth one by one. All right, let's do it. We'll each mobilize half our forces, form a joint attack on U City, and take the opportunity to ambush any other cities coming to assist. At the same time, the major cities were all filled with celebrations. After receiving the armored vehicles you sent, the spirit's blood was boiling. Everyone admired your efficiency as the young master. But since their overall level can't compare with U City, and their dream communication permissions are limited, all the city lords agreed to treat these vehicles as their trump card for moments of life and death. No one dared to use them recklessly. By contrast, U City received an even greater haul of weapons, all sorts of gear piled into a small mountain. Mu Baikun sat atop a mechanical elephant, glanced at the brand new Bugatti Veyron nearby, grinned from ear to ear, his eyes filled with satisfaction. Good job, kid. You even got me a supercar. Perfectly fits my current status. Just as he finished speaking, a guard hurriedly rushed up. City Lord, we've got confirmed news. The Evil Spirit Legion has mobilized all races from the 18th layer. They're jointly marching on our U City, facing millions of evil spirits closing in. Mu Bakuan wasn't the least bit flustered. Instead, he leapt off the elephant. His eyes burned with fighting spirit. Just what I wanted. I was afraid they wouldn't dare show up. I was worried I couldn't level up to warrior level 4 fast enough. Pass the order. Everyone grab all their weapons. Get ready for battle. Let's have a good fight today. Once I level up to 4, I'll take everyone to the 17th layer.
Hearing this,
All the ghosts felt a surge of excitement. Your status in the underworld directly determines your starting point for reincarnation. As long as you rise through the ranks with the city lord, in your next life you'll surely be at the top from birth. The whole city was suddenly filled with fighting spirit. Everyone immediately threw themselves into preparations with excitement. Meanwhile, other city lords who learned of the evil spirit's movements also grew anxious and restless. Fearing they'd fall behind, they started issuing orders. Why is everyone going to attack U City? We need to level up too. Everyone grab your gear and let's go help at U City. Let's fight the evil spirits with everything we've got. U City definitely has more equipment. Maybe we can borrow some if we go. If so, we can get a share of the spoils. With just one call, all the city lords rallied together, leaving only a small force to guard the cities. They led their guards in grand formation toward U City. At the same time, you're happily eating the big meal Bai Ningbing made. Bai Ningbing looked at you, lost in thought. Everything we've burned for the underworld is a ranged weapon. They don't need melee weapons. Hearing that, you rubbed your chin thinking to yourself, Dad and the others have only been using guns and cannons lately. He never mentioned using the heaven-reliant sword before either. With that in mind, you nodded slightly. Maybe they don't use them much normally. But if there's a sneak attack up close, they really do need some cold weapons. Bai Ningbing frowned slightly and continued sorting the items. Relying on devil fruits to boost powers just feels like something's missing in terms of technique. If we burn some supreme martial arts manuals along with it, the fighting ability could be even better. Those words were like a sudden realization. Your eyes lit up. A vision of the invincible East flashed through your mind. You couldn't help but smile. Great idea. I'll send Dad a copy of the Sunflower Manual. Bai Ningbing didn't respond to that. There was a trace of longing in her eyes. I want to send my brother an unparalleled sword. He's a martial arts fanatic. Since he can't fulfill his dream in the living world, let him achieve it in the underworld. No problem. You agreed without hesitation. After finishing your meal, you quickly grabbed some bamboo strips, using a photo for reference, and started weaving a model of Dugu Kayubai's black iron sword. A moment later, a long model of the black iron sword was done in your hands. Once Bai Ningbing finished cleaning the dishes, she came over and picked up the sword to take a look. Her beautiful eyes were full of surprise. I can always trust your craftsmanship. My brother will definitely be satisfied. You gave me a sports car, so it's only right I work for you. You waved your hand with a smile, then turned to keep making things, like shiny fruits that can make someone invulnerable to weapons. While you were busy mass-producing fruits, on the other end of the southern suburbs, 3 Baishi store owners gathered together, venting their frustration. The skinny owner frowned with worry all over his face. What do you guys think? These past few days, why does that guy's shop suddenly have so many customers? The middle-aged man with glasses sighed, turning to the woman next to him with heavy makeup. You've always got the latest scoop. Share it with us quietly.
The
Glamorous woman absent-mindedly applied nail polish, not even looking up. That guy doesn't do funeral services anymore. Now he sells weapons instead. Machine guns, grenades, you name it.
Hearing this,
The man with glasses and the skinny owner gasped together, feeling a chill down their spines. The glasses man pushed his frames up, gritting his teeth. That kid sure has some nerve, selling weapons openly. Isn't he afraid of getting caught? The glamorous woman blew on her still wet nails. In a flat tone, I've told you the news. Do whatever you want. I make money through my other side jobs, so it doesn't matter if this store does well or not. She said that and sashayed away from the man with glasses. His expression turned dark. Real or not, whether he actually sells weapons. The fact is, he's taken all our business. Let's go ahead and report him. Even if they can't find anything, when the police come and check, it'll scare off his customers. The boss nodded repeatedly, a sly smile on his lips, and immediately took out his phone to make the call. At that moment, in just a few minutes, you'd already completed several more fruit models, picked up a blank book in high spirits and asked yourself, then looked at Bai Ningbing, doing your best not to laugh. Since you're making a sword for your brother, shouldn't you also burn him a copy of the evil repelling sword manual? Upon hearing this, Bai Ningbing immediately frowned. She glared at you fiercely. Seeing this situation, you quickly stopped joking around. You gave a couple of awkward coughs. Just kidding. I want to burn him a copy of 9 Solitudes. Only then did Bai Ningbing seem satisfied and pouted her lips. But she quickly became a bit worried and furrowed her brows. Can ghost marriages actually help cultivate these skills? Plus, we don't even know what's actually in the manual. You look down at the model with only the cover in your hands. After thinking for a moment, you say, let's burn it and see what happens. It's the same logic as burning weapons before. As long as the model is realistic enough, whether it's from movies or real life, as long as it's burned, the underworld should be able to manifest it. You pause briefly at this point. A mischievous grin appears at the corner of your mouth. I'll first make a copy of Sunflower Manual for my dad and burn it over. If it really works, I'll burn a sword manual for your brother next. Hearing those 4 words, Bai Ningbing couldn't help but laugh out loud. She laughed so hard she bent over. Are you serious? Aren't you afraid your dad's coffin lid won't hold him back anymore? Why burn this stuff? Why go for something so extreme? You raise an eyebrow and act all serious as you wave your hand. Oh, come on, you don't need to worry about my dad escaping. Just to be safe, I used several bottles of super glue to seal his coffin tight. Joking aside, you quickly weave a model ancient book from bamboo strips, draw the cover, write the title, stamp the official seal, and toss it all into the fire basin. All done, now we just wait for news. Meanwhile, inside Yuchang at the Underworld, Mu Baikun is hosting a big banquet, entertaining the city lords of major cities. A few city lords are staring at the mighty armored vehicles outside, eyes gleaming with gold. They raise their cups one after another, faces full of flattery. Lord Mu, when the evil spirits arrive, can we join the battle? We desperately need fame and merit too. Mu Baikun takes a sip of wine. his face glowing as he laughs heartily. Of course you can. Let's all join in together. Get involved. I'm sure you all understand. After this big battle today, I'll be promoted to a level 4 warrior. By then, I'll leave the 18th level behind and move up a level. The city lords quickly flatter him. The speed at which Yuchang upgrades is shocking. The Mu family young master keeps sending powerful equipment. It's honestly enviable. Before he finished speaking, ripples suddenly spread through the air. A teleportation portal slowly appears. The entire crowd instantly falls silent. All the ghosts look up. A burst of shocked exclamations. Young Master Mu's efficiency is amazing. New gear again. Young Master is awesome. Quick, let's see what cool weapons arrived this time. Everyone stares in eager anticipation. A few fruits and a book descend slowly. Some young ghosts immediately recognize them. They shout with excitement, "Oh my god! Aren't those the shining fruits that boost defense? Is that book a martial arts manual?" Young Master is incredible. Not just superpower fruits, but also manuals. Mu Gaikuen hears the surrounding praise and feels even more proud. He can't help but chuckle. The kid has plenty of tricks up his sleeve. A few city lords gather around quickly, faces full of curiosity. Lord Mu, is this really a peerless martial arts manual? Let us have a look. Feeling the heat of the crowd's gaze, Mu Baikuen feels thoroughly pleased. He's practically floating. He generously slaps the manual onto the table, raises his voice, "All right. Let's all take a look." The ghosts swarm in like a tide. They focus their gaze and see on the ancient cover 4 big words, Sunflower Manual, written boldly. Suddenly, the atmosphere freezes. A few city lords look at each other, their faces turning red, trying not to laugh aloud. Mu Baikuen stares at those 4 words. His eyes are about to pop out. He's trembling all over. He's internally raging, "You brat. What's the meaning of burning me the Sunflower Manual?" He wanted to put on a public show. Now all his dignity is gone. At the edge of the crowd, unknowing ghosts keep squeezing in, excitedly shouting, "Lord, what kind of manual is it? Is it legendary kung fu from Jin Yong novels?" Hearing all the chattering around, Mu Gaikuen's old face turns liver-colored instantly. The veins on his forehead twitch. He clutches the manual tightly, secretly cursing you out. That brat is definitely doing this on purpose. So many peerless martial arts. But he had to burn this nonsense. He's intentionally trying to embarrass me in public, while Mu Bakuen is wishing he could disappear. Hurried footsteps sound from outside the yard. A guard rushes into the hall, out of breath, reporting Lord City Master. The evil spirit army is attacking.
Hearing this,
All the ghosts, who had been watching the drama, shuddered. Their eyes immediately flared up with fighting spirit. Everyone started shouting and flexing their muscles. Those cowardly turtles finally showed up. I've been itching for a fight. Brothers, the fame and merit are coming to us. Today, let's go all out and unleash a slaughter. In the past, when evil spirits attacked, they'd be scared out of their wits. But now, thanks to young Master Mu's arsenal, evil spirits are just moving experience points to them. They don't matter at all. Mu Gaikuen quickly hides the hot potato manual away, slips it into his coat. He suddenly draws his long sword from his waist and shouts loudly, "All troops, listen up. Get to the city wall and face the enemy." Everyone marches up to the city wall in force. Looking out, the evil spirit army outside the city is packed darkly, like thick storm clouds. Seeing the overwhelming enemies below the city, Yuchang, the ghosts are not afraid at all. Instead, their eyes shine with excitement. They gulp as they start calculating. All of them are a huge boost in merit. After this job's done, I'll definitely be promoted to a level 2 warrior. Below the wall, the leader Jin Kai is surrounded by elite evil spirits. Standing in the middle, he raises his big knife, pointing at the city wall, his voice full of arrogance and disdain. Mu Baikuen, take a good look. Our forces are terrifying today. Even if you have tricky weapons, it's just you and a couple of tiny cats. What can you use to fight us? Mu Baikuen looks down from above at the massive army below, a cold sneer on his lips. Numbers mean nothing. I'll crush you all with my gear. As he finishes, he waves his hand suddenly, raising his voice. Release all the tigers and lions. Upon hearing this order, the surrounding guards exchanged knowing, wicked grins. To avoid wasting all their ammo on endless waves of wraiths, they had already come up with a plan. First, send mechanical beasts in to deplete enemy forces. Then bring in the armored vehicles for a final firepower sweep. Hearing Ching Cheng's shout from atop the wall, the wraiths below were briefly stunned. Then, a roar of mocking laughter broke out. You're sending animals to bite us? Is Mu Baikuen out of his mind? Even if I just stand here and do nothing, let them bite. No matter how tough they are, they can't break through our defenses. This is just grasping at straws. However, Jin Kai wasn't laughing with his men. He was frowning deeply, glaring at the tightly shut city gate. A sense of unease crept into his heart. Mu Baikuen, that old fox would never do something so stupid. The heavy steel gate opened slowly with a thundering rumble. A few U-City guards held remote controls, operating dozens of metallic, gleaming mechanical beasts. They charged out in a frenzy. The leading mechanical beasts instantly became moving fire fortresses, their dark barrels belching blinding flames. Shells screamed down and slammed into the ground. The deafening explosions annihilated the front row wraiths before they could even scream, shredding them to pieces with the shockwave. The wraiths who'd just been laughing uncontrollably were suddenly blown off their feet. Panicked screams echoed everywhere. What kind of animals are these? What kind of animal is covered in weapons and can even fire automatically? Watching their defense line so easily broken, Jin Kai's eyes turned bloodshot.
He roared at the top of his lungs.
Don't panic, Sword Spirit Clan, step out. Melt those metal scraps until they're nothing but junk. With that command, a group of wraiths armed with long black bows quickly filled the front line. The other city lords on the wall watching the battle all gasped in shock. They whispered urgently among themselves. Crap, even Jin Kai brought in the Sword Spirit Clan. The ancient swords they shoot are even deadlier than bullets. They once took a city down in less than a day. These mechanical beasts might not last long. Hearing the others worry, Mu Baikuen remained with arms crossed, not a hint of panic on his face. Instead, he leisurely shook his leg. What's the rush? Did you really think my son's invention was that basic? Down below the city wall, the Sword Spirit Clan had already drawn their bows. A rain of ancient swords came pouring down. The sturdy armor of the mechanical beasts just couldn't withstand such concentrated, penetrating attacks.
In only a few minutes,
dozens of mechanical beasts had their core parts blasted apart, smoking and paralyzed in the center of the battlefield. Seeing so many mechanical beasts out of commission, Jin Kai finally relaxed his tense nerves. He pointed at the wall, laughing wildly, looking so smug it was unbearable. Mu Baikuen, your toys are broken. Next, it's U-City's turn to be destroyed. Mu Baikuen glanced at the gloating Jin Kai below, and couldn't help but chuckle. A hint of mockery flashed in his eyes. Jin Kai, this old relic has spent too long in the underworld. He doesn't even know how much times have changed. Don't celebrate too soon. I'm about to give you a massive surprise. Hearing that, Jin Kai's smile faltered.
he had no clue what Mu Baikuen was up to.
Before he could think any further, a blinding white light suddenly erupted in the center of the battlefield, with the ground shaking, explosion blasting toward the sky. Those crippled, mechanical beasts already surrounded by the Wraith army exploded at the exact same time. Violent flames and shards of metal swept through the area like a tsunami. The wraiths at the center of the blast were vaporized instantly. The shockwave knocked Jin Kai several steps back. He stared in utter disbelief ahead, where a massive sector of the field was cleared in seconds. He was completely devastated. What the hell? They still self-destruct even when destroyed. The city lords on the wall, who had been on edge just before, all stared with their mouths wide open, totally stunned. Holy hell, those mechs were packed with C4 explosives. Young Master Mu is ruthless. Don't attack and you get shelled. Attack them, and they blow up and take you down with them. There's simply no defending against that. Amid their exclamations, the morale of U-City's Reaper troops soared. This surprising self-detonation hit the Wraith army, right where they were most densely packed. The war had just begun, and hundreds of thousands of Wraiths were turned to ash in that dazzling display. Jinkai's eyes burned red with rage. He swung his arms wildly, screaming furiously to the rear. Sword Spirit Clan, stop shooting. Don't attack the remaining animals. But the wraiths around him were already panicking. They looked to him in total despair. But Chief, they're still attacking us. If we don't fight back, we'll just die. What should we do now? Jinkai gritted his teeth, scanning the battlefield littered with wreckage. Suddenly, he slapped his thigh. Got it. Let's use the corpses to surround those beasts. Build a giant encirclement. That'll block their attacks for now. Then we'll retreat farther back and have the Sword Spirit Clan destroy them from a distance. When they explode, they won't be able to hit us as much.
Hearing this,
The wraiths were instantly relieved and rushed in all directions to pile up their comrades' bodies. The ghosts on the city wall watched this scene, staring in disbelief. They whispered to each other in shock. That leader is pretty smart. He even thought to use corpses as shields. You city's guard captain frowned, turning to Mu Bikun, suggesting urgently, City Lord, the wraiths are now using corpses to block us. Should we send in the armored vehicles? Before they can retreat, let's set off the animals quickly. Mu Baikuen stroked his chin, a satisfied smirk on his lips. Yeah, use the armored vehicles, you guys take the lead. I need to absorb the fame and merits from that last blast. Once I level up to a level 4 warrior, my son will be able to send even stronger gear. The ghosts from the other cities nearby eagerly crowded forward. City Lord Mu, need a hand? We can all jump in. The more, the merrier. Mu Baikuen waved them off casually, then just sat down cross-legged right there, closed his eyes, immersed in absorbing the merits of victory. Meanwhile, Jin Kai looked at the beasts trapped by piles of corpses, drew his broadsword and waved it forward. Fire your arrows, blow them all up. But before the Sword Spirit Clan could loose their arrows, deafening artillery fire suddenly roared. From the city gate, the wraiths froze. They looked in the direction of the sound, to see steel monsters, heavily armored, crushing the ground beneath them, roaring as they charged out. The pitch-black barrels were unleashing deadly firepower like crazy. The evil spirits instantly panicked. They hurried, terrified, to gather around their leader, Jin Kai. What the hell is that? Looks like a vehicle, and it can shoot. You're so knowledgeable, Chief. Do you know what these things are? Faced with the hopeful gazes of his subordinates, Jin Kai swallowed hard. Cold sweat instantly soaked his back. He had never seen such a monster before. But if he appeared timid in front of his men, the authority of their leader would be gone for good. He forced a disdainful sneer on his face, purposely raising his voice. Come on, it's nothing. These are basically just war vehicles. Not so different from the metal beasts we saw earlier. They just look a little different. Boys, get ready. Use corpses as shields against them as before. Let the Sword Spirit tribe shoot them all to pieces at once. Hearing their leader speak with such confidence, the evil spirits instantly breathed a sigh of relief. Their fighting spirit was rekindled. Chief really is knowledgeable. So it's like those beasts after all. Don't be scared, brothers. We're taking you city today, no matter what. The ghosts on the city wall, watching the clueless evil spirits below, felt a mix of envy and scorn. Damn. You City actually has this many armored vehicles.
if only I had some.
I'd be unstoppable in the underworld by now. Look at those hicks down there. They think armored vehicles are as fragile as the Mecha beasts. Times have changed. These have upgraded bulletproof armor modified by young Master Mu, and they're trying to pierce it with bows and arrows? Hearing the laughter from those on the city wall, Jinkai's face turned gray with rage. He raised his broadsword and cursed it up at them. Mu Bakun thinks a few junky war vehicles will turn the tide? Ridiculous. My sword spirit tribe could turn them all into scrap metal in minutes. They could shoot them to pieces with ease. The evil spirits felt uneasy at the laughter, but they could only tough it out and psych themselves up. Chief is right. They're just bluffing. Brothers, go all out and crush them. Let's see if they can still laugh in a moment. Jinkai gripped his broadsword tightly and let out a hysterical roar. Shoot. The ghosts smashed the control panels excitedly, their eyes burning with fanaticism. Brothers, let's show these bumpkins what armored vehicles can do. Open fire. Before he finished speaking, Every armored vehicle erupted with an ear-splitting roar. Heavy machine guns spat out blinding tongues of flame. The mortar on the roofs exploded one after another. Together they wove an impenetrable net of terrifying firepower. The sword spirit tribe's proud swords struck the special steel armor, only managed to spark a tiny bit. Not even a scratch was left behind. But the hail of shells and incendiaries from the armored vehicles exploded across the ranks of the evil spirit army. Severed limbs and blood-curdling screams filled the air. Witnessing this one-sided slaughter, Jinkai froze in place. He stared, wide-eyed, at the rampaging steel behemoths. Cold sweat instantly drenched his back. Suddenly, he remembered the days trapped in Evil Spirit Valley, when they were too scared to even poke their heads out because of the explosions. It was these exact heavy war vehicles right in front of him. The nearby surviving evil spirits recoiled in fear, their faces full of terror as they tugged at Jinkai's sleeve. "Boss, something's wrong. Even King Iron's 8 arrows can't pierce through. We better retreat now. Staying here is suicide." Hearing his subordinates plead, Jinkai felt a bitter ache in his heart. If I don't withstand the pressure soon, and ensure that this harbinger of doom, Mu Bakuan, is eliminated, and send him to the next level of the underworld as soon as possible, the evil spirit clan may never know peace again. He violently shook off his subordinates, his eyes bloodshot, and snarled through gritted teeth. "Nobody retreats. Every time we're hit, you want to run. How can you face our fallen brothers? If we just hold on, the situation can turn around. Fight to the death, all of you." Though his words were bold, he couldn't suppress the chill rising in his heart. Thankfully, only part of the army was sent to attack U City this time. If we'd sent the whole force, we'd all be wiped out by this firepower. Meanwhile, the evil spirit squad sent to attack other cities also ran headlong into the relentless bombardment from the armored vehicles left behind. They were completely routed and could only flee in panic. Jinkai's eyes blazed with desperation, waving his broadsword as he frantically reorganized the formation. Nobody panic. Yinjiao clan and Armor clan moved to the very front to defend. Hammer clan and Sword Spirit clan fall back to the second line to attack the vehicles. Healers stay in the rear, ready to save anyone at any moment. At his orders, the chaotic evil spirits quickly relied on their racial talents to set up a formation. The heavily armored evil spirits used their bodies alone to build a high wall at the front line, while attacks from the rear followed up closely. Dying spirits were swiftly dragged to the back lines and revived quickly under the healer's glowing aura. Though the armored vehicles kept up their fierce firepower, layer after layer of defenses piled on, miraculously slowed down the rate of evil spirit casualties. Jinkai saw the steadying formation and finally let his strained nerves relax a little. Just as the slaughter had been escalating, the ghosts saw this orderly defensive formation below, and their smiles slowly froze. A guard gripped his burning hot machine gun tighter, staring down with a furrowed brow. These guys have calmed down now. All the clans are working together so smoothly. Looks like we really can't let our guard down. The ghosts watched the slowed pace of enemy casualties below, frowning deeply, with clear anxiety in their eyes. If this drags on, the energy that powers our equipment will eventually run dry. Their numbers and skill sets are just too overwhelming. If only we had some massive weapons like nukes. That'd be great, but something like that is way too destructive. Don't want to end up collapsing all 18 levels of the underworld. Hearing everyone's concerns, an elderly man with a white beard shook his head. The underworld isn't so easily destroyed. I've been here for decades. Every city and every region is held together by powerful laws. You should think carefully. All that C4-like bombardment just now. Did the ground suffer even a scratch? All these years, with wars never ending, the city walls remain unbreakable. So listen, don't treat the underworld by the rules of the living. As the old man finished speaking, the more experienced ghosts nearby all nodded in agreement. Hearing this, the younger ghosts who had been so worried all poked their heads out, scanning outside the city with uncertainty in their eyes. At the battlefield that had just been blasted by fierce artillery fire,